Hello, hello, and welcome to Love Us Anyway. Donna Rae, I love seeing your face and your smile. So if you're watching us, I hope that you would get some appreciation out of it as well. My name is Fantasia, and we are, we're it as far as the who's who in the discussion. And today we're talking about the season of loud. Okay, so the season aloud, and not just, and I don't mean the volume, right? As I kind of come back in my voice because I felt like my volume was loud, but no, not talking about the volume, meaning stepping into boldness, taking up space, and really owning our voices without apologizing for it. So, Donna, let me ask you, have you ever felt like you've been like shrinking yourself or like you've been quieting your dreams, your opinions, or even your presence to make other people comfortable?
Mm. Yes. Yes. I just had a birthday last week.
Mhm.
And this idea of loud, of stepping into my authentic self, of using my voice, stating my preferences, being at ease with where I'm at in life, to me, all of that kind of goes together.
Yeah.
And for me, the loud part is like being okay with it.
Mm.
From 2024 on back, I mean, I have been in so many programs, I have been in so many classrooms, I've been in so many therapists, coaches, and mentors
Mm.
around this whole um, not being able to speak up and
Mm.
why I feel so anxious or drained or exhausted or minimized or disrespected.
Yeah.
So 2025 is like I've studied, I've
Yeah.
learned new language, I've um, applied some of the more linear way to incorporate some of that. So now it's just I'm ready for it to be a little bit messy, for it to come out maybe a little disjointed, and then go from there. So to me, that's the loud part.
Yeah. I love that. Being okay with it being a little bit messy, being all over the place if necessary, and really figuring out. And I know all of those like those feelings just all too well. And I feel like also just even just thinking of season of loud, like this isn't the season to play it small, right? Like you said, 2024, I had time. And now we're in 2025, and this is the season to be loud about who we are, what we stand for, and the vision that we're bringing into life. And for me, stepping into the season of loud means being unapologetic about my purpose, about who I am. It means saying yes to the opportunities that may even scare me and no to anything that dims my light. I think Donna, you and I were talking about this offline one time about the light that we carry, right? And so, and it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to people, to things, to opportunities, or we think that they are. And just being real, being loud isn't always easy. It's not always easy, and I feel like sometimes we're, like, conditioned, especially as women, as entrepreneurs, as creatives, um, as caregivers, to be polite, to be accommodating, and sometimes to be quiet, right? Um,
I can echo that on so
yeah,
many levels.
yeah,
And what has it gotten me?
yeah, hmm,
What has it gotten me?
yeah,
Sleepless nights, um, spontaneous, like hot flashes, headaches, right? Like all these physical sensations.
mm,
And now, with so much lived experience, it's like, okay, so what? I mean, how do people know unless you tell them?
yeah, Yeah.
And so I'm spending more time just coaching myself or befriending myself or taking care of myself so that when I'm in the world, that I'm showing up in a way that people know how to treat me.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that part.
And so that's really checking my energy. Um, because that's what people say all the time. Well, you're so nice and you're so kind. And I mean, and that is true also.
Yeah.
And this is my response to that request.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's okay to have a little bit of grit behind you too, like a little bit, right? Um, and it's also okay to be nice and kind and loving and supportive. And, sometimes even being loud isn't just about speaking. It's about how we move. It's about taking action. It's about all of those things. And I know just for our listeners to like really reflect, um, there might be an area in their lives where they feel like they need to get louder, right? You spoke to a little bit of, your experience in that regard, and it may be that maybe you won't need to speak up at work a little bit more. Maybe you need to set boundaries in relationships. Maybe, I know for me, maybe you need to promote your business without hesitation. And I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself because sometimes I hesitate because I'm like, okay, it's a lot of work and all the things. Or maybe it's just owning your story, right? Your story without any shame to it, you know? So,
And I'm glad you made mention of the people who are listening and to be more specific. So I'll give you an example.
okay.
Where I currently work, we have a regular patron literally that comes in
Mhm.
every single day. And it's here all day,
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
And even before I came here, I mean, this has been going on for years
Mhm.
and kind of has two primary places where they sit,
Mhm.
one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And so we staff people occasionally talk about this patron. And so I found myself asking the staff, I said, why don't you say something to this person? Right? Because they just get up and move. They don't pick up after themselves, right? They just get up and move.
Yeah.
And oh, well, because I don't want to confront anyone. I don't want to get into it and that kind of thing. So lately, the past few weeks, when he comes into my area,
Mhm.
could you get that for me? So just last night, got up and was getting ready to leave. And I said, could you put that back together? I said, because just like it was welcoming for you when you came in here, let's
Mhm.
leave it welcoming for the next person. And then their
Yeah.
response was, well, I'm a messy person. Okay. And you can put this back just the way you found it.
Right.
And he did. And so I'm taking on the responsibility of saying something to this person when they're in this space.
Mhm.
So for me, that's an example of being loud
Yeah.
at work. And then it's going to be okay
Yeah.
because I'm ruminating on the inside. Well, they don't do this and they don't do that. And I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to be clear and direct
Yeah.
and professional.
Yeah, professional with tact, right? And I love that you said that as it relates to work and even in relationship to like your worth, right? We were talking about that too, I think, as far as like no longer accepting less than what I know that I'm worth and I'm of value. Now, my value is super high, right? But at the same time, sometimes, I'm human. So I discount it and continue to discount it until there's no longer any value in what I offer and how I show up. And then that's how people, I feel like, tend to see me because it's like, oh, there's no value here. Right. And it doesn't have to be monetary. Um, it can show up in so many different ways, but the first way is how I identify my value. And what I stand on in my authentic self. And I kept saying coming into 2025, I was like, I'm no longer accepting. I'm no longer accepting dot, dot, dot. I'm no longer accepting. And that's it. And that's all. Like, I'm no longer accepting being underpaid. I'm no longer accepting lackluster friendships. I'm no longer accepting certain things within relationships, right? I'm no longer accepting silencing my voice. I'm no longer accepting people being uncomfortable. I'm like, so what? People make me uncomfortable all the time. And okay, so that just makes me a little bit stronger and makes me identify and understand people a little bit better when I'm uncomfortable, because it may be part of, I know I always say with when it comes to like healing and things of that nature, that sometimes we have to be uncomfortable, and those that are a part of it have to be uncomfortable in order for people to heal. And you have to receive that and understand it. But this is just my season of loud. I'm no longer doing dot, dot, dot,
And I'm
right?
glad you mentioned that because in even when we kind of dim our light or take a lesser rate, we may think that that's like no big deal and it's okay, but it internally is sending a
Mhm.
message to my spirit.
Mm.
I'm actually saying something to my spirit when I do that.
Mhm.
And if we are present at any point of that, then we'll notice just that subtle energy, that
Yeah.
subtle feeling deflated, that subtle
Shift.
disappointment. Yes, yes. And if we always are moving to the next thing and staying in our heads about it, then it's never going to sync up.
Mhm.
So that could be an exercise, that could be a practice
Mhm.
of getting quiet before, definitely after having an uncomfortable conversation or saying something that you wouldn't normally, and just see how that registers. Because
Mhm.
for me, with that situation yesterday, on the inside, I felt a little shimmy. So part of me was like, hey, there you go. So that's my evidence, that's my receipt.
Mhm.
But it's subtle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I love that, because the truth is, being loud doesn't mean uh being reckless, right? It means being authentically you, right? Loving us anyway. And it means standing in your power, owning your truth, and moving with confidence, even when people don't get it. Even when they don't get it, they don't understand. And I'm gonna say this: some people won't be ready for your value. So whoever's listening, some people may not be ready for your volume, and that is okay. So not everyone is meant to hear you, you know. Um, not everyone is meant to hear your voice in the way that it shows up, but that doesn't mean that you stop singing. That doesn't mean that you stop using your voice, right? So if you've been feeling like you need permission to be loud, this is the permission. Donna and I are giving you permission to take up
Yes,
space,
yes,
to speak your truth, to move boldly, because this is your season. This is your season to be loud, right?
absolutely. You heard it
Loud.
straight from us.
Straight from the sources. And, it's all right. I feel like even in this short time, this conversation has been really good, and hopefully it resonates with someone, and that they show up as their authentic selves and they keep tapping into that. And also, we love to hear from you in the comments, reaching out to us via email, and just letting us know, what does stepping into your season of loud look like? Just let us know. And if this episode spoke to you, share it with a friend so that they can share it with another friend, and all of the things, someone who needs this message, or even if, just sharing the love and light in that way. And so, Donna, if you have anything else, we can.
Thank you. Keep
Yeah,
coming back.
keep
You
coming.
are the reason why we have these conversations. So thank you.
Absolutely. And until next time, stay bold, stay loud, and keep showing up as your fullest self. So we appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time. Later, y'all.